Hello viewers, welcome to your program Development Zone, where we celebrate achievers, unveil the core potential of our nation, and also celebrate those that have contributed immensely to the needs of our country. Throughout the program, we'll be talking nation, economy, and we're talking business. And our program today is Ambassador Professor Kyauta Nathan Bawa, is Ambassador UN IPGC Ambassador of Peace, and also Professor of Leadership and Business Strategy. He'll be having his view about the nation economy and also the ongoing security challenges that the nation is going through right now, which is happening in Plateau and Benue State. Sit back, relax, I'll be right back. So you're welcome on the program. Looking at the state of our nation today, we also support the view that we are here because of lack of good leadership to manage the nation resources. That is why we are facing the ongoing challenges. What's your view on that, sir?
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, viewers. The question is cannot be answered with either yes or no. Yes, leadership is a very important aspect of our national lives. However, leadership alone is not enough to take our nation out of the woods, because there are other multifaceted factors that would aid leadership. For instance, followership is also a very important aspect. If you have leadership without followership, then you cannot be able to carry out your vision as a leader. So followership is also very important. Our institutions of government are also very critical. Other arms of government, other tiers of government are equally critical in visualizing the leadership question.
Thank you very much for that. On that note, I'd like to ask, in terms, you talked about followers and also other arms of government. Looking at Nigeria as a case study, what would be your view about the followership that really affects the aspect of leadership?
Thank you. The truth of the matter is this. Leaders don't just evolve from nowhere. Leaders come from the same society that encompass the entire citizen of a nation. So leaders are part of a society. So it is the characteristics of the society that throw up leadership, because they all evolve from the same society. So the barometer, that is what we use to test the capacity of a leader, the character of a leader, is from the society from which they all evolve from. So when you see a leader being thrown up, you also look at it. How is the society? So because they all erupt from the same society. So they don't just come from the vacuum or from nowhere. They erupt from the same society. So it's the society that gives back to leadership. So when there is a leadership challenge, there is also a citizen's challenge, there is also a societal challenge. So we have to look at it from an all-encompassing perspective.
Thank you for that, sir. From your own point of view, what's the impact of good leadership in boosting the nation economy?
Thank you for that question. Of course, there is no gainsaying that good leadership is needful for societal transformation, for nation building. You have to understand from a theoretical perspective. I can start from there. There are various leadership theories. We have the threat theory, the behavioral theory, we have the contingency situational theory of leadership. All these come to fore and present their own unique features. And for instance, when we are talking about transformational leadership, we are looking at a leadership that inspires and motivates a team towards achieving a common goal. When we look at situational leadership, we are looking at how leaders function in every situation as they meet it. Contingency leadership is also an offshoot of situational leadership, where the leadership functionalities are contingent on the followers and the situation in which they meet. Threat leadership emphasizes that leadership are born with some traits like intelligence, like competence, some unique traits. While the behavioral theory looks at leadership from the perspective that a leader mirrors the behavior of the environment and the followers. So this also affects the leadership style. We have various leadership styles. From the leadership theory also emanates leadership style. You can look at the democratic leadership style. You can also think of the laissez-faire leadership style. You can look at the transformational leadership style. You can also look at the autocratic leadership style, servant leadership style. Recall, even in the scripture, in Mark chapter 9, verse 35, Jesus Christ called his disciples together and said, he who aspires to be the first must be, first of all, servant of all. And Lao Tzu was a 25th century Chinese sage. He said something. He said, the reason many rivers and seas receive the homage of 100 mountain streams is that they keep below them. Thus, they are well able to reign over the mountain streams. So the sage, wishing to be above people, putted himself below them. Wishing to be before people, putted himself behind them. Thus, though his place be above men, they do not feel his weight. And though his place be before people, they do not count it an injury. What does that entail? A leader must be someone with a huge amount of humility. A leader must be open. A leader must be accommodating. That is why Lao Tzu said, it is the reason why many rivers and seas receive the homage of 100 mountain streams, because they are always below them. The mountain streams are on top of the mountain. And because the leader is there, is able to receive the homage of 100 mountain streams. Now, you cannot be proud and expect people to gravitate towards you. You have to be humble, you have to be receptive, you have to be tolerant, you have to be accommodating. This is what builds trust. One of the main issues of leadership in our society is trust. Once you're able to gain the trust of your followers, it is easy to influence them. It is easy for them to do what you want them to do. If you have a very nice vision, for instance, I can tell you that the vision of Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu, is laudable. However, there is a gap, there is a disconnect between his policies and the orientation that people have. That is why there is this disconnect. If only he can win their trust, they will be able to see that he actually means well in the medium and long run. Of course, in the short run, there are challenges as we are facing them. Inflation is mighty, food prices are skyrocketing. However, I can assure you, as a development economist, that these policies are well thought out and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you very much. In respect of that, Mr. President, I would like to ask, as a business expert, what's your view on the nation-president economy under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu?
Thank you so much. As a business strategist, I can authoritatively tell you that the president is getting it on the right direction. Like I've emphasized earlier, transformation, especially when things have gone bad, is not easy to build over time. Destruction is easy, but rebuilding or reconstruction takes time, and that's why we're experiencing a lot of hiccups. However, I can assure you that we're moving in the right direction. You can see we experienced a trade surplus, which is unprecedented. A lot of states are no longer borrowing because of the subsidy removal. They have more funds to play around with. Our debt to GDP is actually not growing, it is reducing. I mean, there are a lot of positive things, and you can see a lot of foreign direct investments coming in. A lot of people are coming in. Nigeria has become, or is becoming, a haven of investors. These are positive signs, and it will mean well in the near foreseeable future. I'm sure before the end of this first term, we'll see a whole lot of business opportunities and economic transformation.
Thank you very much, sir. As an ambassador of peace and IPGC, what's your view on the ongoing security challenge that nations today, most especially Plateau, Benue, to mention but a few?
Thank you so much. It's so saddening to hear almost on a daily basis loss of lives in property. There has been serious attempts in the past to unravel the remote causes of this crisis. But the major challenge has been that when white papers are written, no actionable steps are taken to attend to the recommendations of the findings of the administrative committees that I always set up. So that is one of the major problems. When people when investigations are carried out and we see people that are culpable but are not dealt with according to our laws, there is bound to be lawlessness. People feel that they can also do it and get away with it. So it's my clarion call is that all those administrative inquiries, those white papers that had been written should be revisited, and those found culpable in this crisis should be dealt with, even posthumously. This will serve as a deterrent to others coming up. Secondly, we must preach peace. We must preach peaceful coexistence. I recall in the 80s, we used to live amongst ourselves. I understand that climate change and its attendant negative consequences of desertification has forced these herdsmen to encroach more within the farmlands. Formerly, it was not so. There used to be grazing routes. I think government has been making efforts with the establishment of the livestock.
Do you foresee the present administration to overcome the present? Do you foresee the government of the day to overcome the present security challenges before 2027 election?
Well, I cannot for sure say before the elections, but I know that the government is doing well. We just started experiencing it. For the better part of this administration, I can assure you that there has been tremendous progress recorded in terms of attaining security. We just started experiencing spike, and of course, just like we talked about 2027, it is also not unconnected with the upcoming elections. We know that there are faith columnists, but I believe that with the security apparatus in place, that they should be able to curtail and contain the security challenges. This is my prayer and this is my hope. Thank you.
As a leadership business expert, what would be your advice to the government of the day in terms of the economy and also good governance?
Okay, thank you so much. In the United Nations, we have 8 characteristics of good governance. We have participation, we have responsiveness, we have consensus driving, we have vision orientation, a whole lot of governance. Now, as for leadership, I will advocate for situational, transformational, combined kind of leadership, because you have to look at the situation you are and you have to be transformational oriented. And I believe that once these two come together with the economic activities already carrying of production, consumption, distribution, and also with the economic indicators looking up, I believe that the government can do much more better. One of the areas in which I want the government to really focus on is the area of boosting our export. In times past, that was even during the colonial era, up to when the fourth National Development Plan was jettisoned by the Ibrahim Babangida administration. We are doing so well in terms of export of our primary goods like agriculture, like mining. These were what we are sustaining our economy. We still have these mineral resources. We have arable land for agriculture in abundance. We can only go back to this because this is the only sure way we can be able to boost our economy and be able to make our naira stronger. Recall during the national development planning, there was better planning. We have jettisoned it. We have to go back to our national development plan. Look at a country like India, for instance. We started our national development plan at almost the same time. On their 18th 5-year national development plan, you can see that because they have been faithful to this national development plan, they have been able to record a whole lot of achievements in the area of health, IT, even military. So we have to go back to national development plan. The embracement of the Britain Wood template actually served as an economic ideological shift from our national development plan. And up to date, we've not been able to find our feet. I urge the government to look at this critical aspect, export, and return to national development plan. Thank you.
And then tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay. You already know my name. My name is Kyauta Bawa, an ambassador for peace and also a professor of leadership and business strategy from the American University of Peace and Governance. I'm also a banker, and I'm an academic. I have 7 masters. I also possess a PhD in business administration, majoring in marketing management. And I've written a whole lot of articles, journals, academic high-end journals. I'm also a community development person. I also help the indigent in the society through scholarship and other means as practicable as possible, as my means will permit.
Being a busy man that we know you to be, how do you balance office and family?
Well, I think I must give credit to my family. They're very understanding. It's not easy to combine all this together, but I have a very understanding family. And anytime I'm with them, I ensure I give them the quality time they deserve.
And then last, how do you spend your leisure time?
Well, I hardly have leisure time. I'm an indoor person. You can see, even as you came in, you saw a lot of books. So you see that I'm resting or I'm reading.
And the last one before letting go of the program, so looking at the state of the nation today, what forms of advice Nigerians, home and abroad?
The advice I will have for my brothers and sisters, both home and abroad, is that they should be patriotic. The grass is not always greener on the other side. A lot of people, I can tell you, are coming from abroad, even from medical services in Nigeria, especially Lagos and Abuja, because it is expensive there. It is not who out there. Nigeria is still one of the cheapest countries to live in. I would like our brothers and sisters to show a high sense of patriotism to their own motherland. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's nice having you on the program. Welcome back. Like you heard it all from our guest in person of Ambassador Professor Kyauta and Nathan Bawa. Took our time to outline what the present administration is doing to boost national economy, and also it took our time to speed out to us the quality and criteria of a good leadership, in which every one of us need to embed it in us so as to be good leaders out there. It also took our time to advise Nigerians home and abroad to be patriotic in coming together so as to make our nation a better one. So that coming again, I remain the host, Joseph Uzwako Nugojo. Bye for now.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. I will send you a token letter. Yes, you will get something before the day runs out. Thank you so much. I look forward to having you more.
Again, I say, I follow him now. Come and let him work.
So you'll get something very soon.
Okay,